used no commercial products for 20-some years or longer. This one. Olive oil is also good. Okay? Teeth and gums. Okay, it helps harden enamel. This is internal again. It prevents bleeding gums, gum atrophy. And this is all the stuff that dental hygienists saw. Helps loosening of teeth and tightening them up. It helps prevent tooth growth. Tougher nails. And what our friend Walter.
Never had nails in his life.
This guy is an electrical engineer and builds his own houses and all this stuff. He's never had nails his whole life. They were always brittle, classic stuff, brittle and all that. He told that within a week or two he couldn't believe it. Comes in, I can't believe I have nails for the first time in my life. And they weren't artificial, they helped with real nails. Okay. Okay, so silica will beautify the appearance of your nails, improve their hardness, make them shinier and less prone to breaking, just like the cell salt. Brittle nails is a keynote for silica. Face mask and cleaner. Again, you usually want to mix with something. And that, I don't know about scrubbing. I would say circular rubbing. So scrubbing, okay. Leave it on the face for a few minutes and wash it off. Okay. Teeth cleaner, you can add a few, some powder to your toothpaste or baking soda, and especially if you want to do a deeper cleanse and all that, but don't do it every day. And, it cleans all your metal and silverware. Side effects. The dose is usually 1 to 3 teaspoons a day, up to 1 to 3 tablespoons a day. There is no unpleasant taste. No one's complained about the taste, but several people everywhere, they all, from black purpose, they all call it dirt. Because it looks like, and it tastes like you took some beach sand, and put it in there, and you drank some beach sand. Okay, it goes right down. No bad smell, odor, nothing. Okay? So, and a big thing here, we're talking about, when you take it and put it there, you should stir it and then drink it. Otherwise, it settles to the bottom. Some people get energy and they don't take it before bed, but some people don't.
For children, should you give them less?
If you think they need it, smaller doses. But you have the cell salt, I would probably, if it's a baby, I would go with cell salt. Yes, yes. Yes. Cleans out the arteries, but mainly is sandwich. Here's some cases. Tell you my DE is a miracle in my life for the past 5 years. My whole right side has been in pain. The last 2 weeks the pain was excruciating. Never contemplated hip replacement surgery. The pain was so bad I would have to do something with the DE and now start relieving the pain. I walk with a complete limp on the right side. Could not bend or lift my right leg or put on a shoe. After 7 days, my husband and family could not believe what DE had done to me. Looking forward to continuing the healing the next several weeks. So after 7 days, she could walk. Okay. So again, it's a collagen, connective tissue probably supporting the hips and the joints that start calcifying and block up first, and then the calcium starts depositing, and then you get this arthritis. Okay. So there's so many cases like this online and videos of people. And the animals, if you have any cats or dogs or horses and goats, they're unbelievable. Black staphylococcus and DE, and you mix it in their food. And you can put 2 things in there, and the animal is only the one that has the molasses or DE. They may have an instinct about it. They love molasses. It gives them all this nutrition and stuff. And their coats get shinier, their eyes get brighter, they get more, what do you call it, have more zest of life. Okay. On my CDs I tell a case of a horse that way. There was a horse that was really old, and they were going to put him down, and I was visiting this farm in Oregon many years ago. And they said, yeah, what can you do for our old horse when I have him put down? I said, well, what's wrong with him? Oh, nothing, he's just old. And they said, he can't get the hay anymore. Because you know, when you have the hay there and the horses go there, they hit their head and get the older or younger horses out of the way. So he wasn't strong enough. And he just sits and lays in the field and looks around like that. So they said, well, what can you do? I said, well, yeah, we got a remedy for that. No problem. My young, brash days. So I went in my car and got the remedy, silica 10M. So I just give them one go. They were going to put them down anyway. What's going to happen? Hold the horse's lip out and put the silica cells in there and let go. Yeah, of course the horse goes, arr. And then they call me and they left messages. I'm working in the clinic in Portland. I call them back, what's going on? I said, it can't be bad because you guys are going to kill him. So I had no anxiety about it. And they said, you will not believe what happened. And they said, what? They said, after you left, he got up and started running all around. I said, oh, that's good. They said, oh, no. In the next 2 days, this whole hide and everything broke out with boils and pustules everywhere. And seeping yellow. I said, oh, wow, that's interesting. I gave it 2 highs. And then he said it all cleared away. And it lived another, I think, 3 or 6 months or something. And all it did was chase the mares. Lay down behind that baby. They called the thing that they gave their favorite horse, you know. And he gave him the last run, you know. Okay. So here's another one round a tablespoon a day for 3 weeks. This Friday, I can say, where have you been all my life? Talking to the DE. Where have you been all my life? My backache was gone in 3 days. It's been bad for about 3 weeks. Dry skin and shiny, and no flakes. And it goes on this trouble all year, the knee locking out, a lot of joint musculoskeletal stuff. Okay, now they're working in their gardens and all this stuff. And I just got rid of flea infestation at my sister's house with it, and it goes on. Fantastic stuff.
Robin, sorry, how do you put it out, please?
Oh, you sprinkle the powder on the floor, or garden, or whatever. Now, if you have an animal that has fleas, you sprinkle a powder on them and you brush them. Yep.
With a mask on.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you wet your brush, you won't get any dust. But you can wet your brush and then wet them and then wash it out. No insect. Now, I'm going to make this clear. No insect, good or bad, can handle DD. It will also kill honeybees and all that stuff. And all
Good
that.
idea.
Okay, so you want to know that. Yes? I thought someone was saying something. Yes, unbelievable. But again, you want to protect the eye. If you make a paste, you won't get the dust. You're only concerned with the dust. It's really dusty, puffed up. Okay? So we have to train people how to do this. If you just open a bag of it, you might get a puff of it. Okay? So you open it. I use jars, we don't do it in this big spoon. I usually tell people and that's a concern of breathing. And the people that own it, you look up Wolf Creek Farm. It's a really country folks. They have a big old farm, and they use DE, and they sell all the bags to people. And go online, find Wolf Creek Farm, you'll find stories that they said they haven't even had problems breathing it in. But we still give them one.
What could it do?
Well, it's silica. They feel it will build up or damage your lungs. But there's really no proof. But the FDA said you just won't. If it gets in the eyes, it gets dry your eyes out.
Can we use it for people who have artificial pieces in their body, like with silica,
All you ask yourself is how big is it?
I mean, like some people have, let's say, metal pins after.
There's no way any silica can bring out a pin in the leg. There's no way.
If it's displaced or whatever, it's not good.
Now, all you think about is little things like splinters and that's where it came from. Okay. Now we're concerned with pacemakers because you might get stuck up in the pacemaker or something. But you have a pin in your back or your leg, nothing's going to bring it out except surgery.
No, but DE? No, these.
How's it gonna do it? The whole leg will open up, the whole thing's gonna pop up? What? I just think that idea has been taken too far on that. Okay. I've never heard of case, nothing, anything that big coming out. But I tell you the story of my mother. And so I put her on, she's 83 now, healthy, no medication. She's a homeopath. They never call me anymore. I was a big family. They never call me. Mark is better. And they always call her first. She can't handle it once or twice a year. I'm not going to call. I need a little help with this case. Okay? And I gave her silica. I usually give her a remedy for 3 or 6 months. I gave her the silica cell salt, and her thumb swelled up. Okay? And swelled up, and became like a boil. And she said one day she pinched it, and a little splinter came out, and she remembered 30 years ago that splinter was in there. So that's what we're seeing in this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Is it effective if you put it in cold food? So I have many handicapped patients using
Cold food?
Yeah, yogurt or something.
No problem. It's hot food that's the problem.
Yeah. It's still like cold.
So you got the rules? No, never eat it. Don't breathe it. Don't get it in your eyes.
I have a question.
And you can mix it with dog food, cereal for kids, you can small amounts. You can do, I just put it right in water and drink it shot. Orange juice, anything. They have no taste. It's just a little gritty. I don't know. Yeah. It depends on why. Silicosis. A patient with silicosis. And that's excessive silica?
Yeah.
How did they get it? You know? Yes, guilt from breathing in the gut.
Yeah.
Now, I would give homeopathic silica. Homeopathic silica is the #1 remedy for what disease? Emphysema. This is cases of emphysema. And it rebuilds the lung, shortness of breath, and that. And it's also a remedy for asbestosis. People have breathed in asbestos, and it's for miners. People have worked in mines and construction. And breathe in the dust, and that dust builds up in the lungs. And that's where the FDA gets all the stuff you don't want to breathe any dust. And that scars the lungs. And silica internally helps you heal those scars. Okay.
But that's in tissue salt or homeopathic.
Homeopathic potency. Okay. Okay, let's see one more here. My cholesterol is down. In fact, my Lipitor is cut in half. Introduced DE to my sister. She loves it. She says she just feels better. Last week, because according to her life, she had osteoporosis, got her bone mass checked every 2 months. She went back last month. Her bone mass has actually increased. And all she did was take some of the DE powder. She also knows that the age spots on her arm have started disappearing. So this is a big anti-aging time. Homeopathic remedy in physical doses is an anti-aging and sports performance time. You have to agree, none of that's in our material matter. Clearing out cholesterol, plaque, lowering the blood pressure. Now we know silica, the whole story. Just like Honda. Homeopathics only know half of Honda. From the homeopathic years to there. They're not concerned, well, who was this person? And what was he into that led him to homeopathy? I want to learn all the Honda. I want to learn all the silica. All the carbohydrates. This is my old hometown, Forgotten Springs. There's big hot springs there. Students will come and study. We do Qigong, we do homeopathy, and jump in hot springs. 10 years at summer schools there. We go up on the top mountain cliff to the waterfall, and we're all doing Qigong. We're all coming down. All our faces are glowing and bright. We're all wet from the mist, and we're seeing rainbows, and we're doing our Qigong in church. Who are these people? They turn a corner and they see these people standing on the cliffs and mountains in different postures. Beautiful place. Okay? So I'm writing this, hoping someone will read this that help me, that can be helped like me, the DE. There's 3 heaping tablespoons, maximum dose. and this was a nutritionist, I think it is. He said, it'd be good for my hair. It doesn't taste bad. It's actually good. However, a week later, after driving to the store, I looked down and I noticed I had nails. I mean, we had people that were in shock. I had bitten my nails since I can remember. I went out and bought polish. I could not believe how fast it was going. And the urge to bite them was no longer there.
That's the key.
When my 25-year-old sister was pregnant, she craved chalk. Her husband would actually go to the store and buy her chalk to eat. I gave her some DE and she loved it. She quit eating chalk. And they call that what? What's the medical term? Pica. Oh, you said pica? They said pica. I'll put that on my list. Okay. So you have children eating. I mean, in Haiti, all the people were eating clay and dirt. A whole documentary on dirt cookies. You see that documentary? I think BBC again. And they would go and find a special clay and they'd make these cookies and dry them out and they would eat them. Okay? And they interview them, why are you eating it? Because it makes the stomach feel full. So starving people also go to hyper. Malnourished children, starving people, pregnant women and their cravings and all that. And this, we laid back to yesterday. Now you know why pregnant women crave pickles. Remember we talked about pickle juice. Number one electrolyte that we know of in the world. When women crave pickles, it's because they're getting a medicine, a remedy that makes them feel good and helps morning sickness and everything. And then it comes out, it's an electrolyte. Okay? We have commercials, everything, it's everywhere about women craving. The pickle commercial is about women craving pickles to promote their product. Okay, another one. 6 years ago, I was given, this should be sad. No, you should have thought what I had at first. There was no eye. I had Satan drugs. I played at night. No, it's Satan, whatever. High cholesterol. I had severe reaction to the statin drugs. Okay, I'm not going to correct that for the slide, so you have to correct it in your slide. I have bowel cholesterol since. This January is once again very high with 324, triglycerides 616. I just decided to do the DE, and I just had my levels checked again, and after only 10 weeks, they've dropped 91 points, which probably dropped in a week or so, okay, to 233, and my triglycerides dropped to 370 to 246. I am thrilled. I finally have the hope of getting under control without the drugs. And we talked about statin drugs are the worst drugs on the market now. And if we could, that's the only reason we got into this DE, is to help friends and patients get off their Lipitor and Crestor. Okay, they're horrible. A lot of our parents and friends and aunts and uncles are on this just because the doctors say, not because they're sick. And there's no way to tell if it's working. Okay? Even the numbers go up or down. That doesn't mean it's working. That doesn't mean the person's health is good. It means nothing. And the fact you have to stay on it the rest of your life means it's not working. Blood pressure does not, medicine doesn't work because you have to stay on it for the rest of your life. Anybody knows. Can you imagine taking your car to someone and they said, well, you have to keep going back once a week for the rest of your life? You would think they're crazy.
I had a friend who was on statins amongst many other drugs, and she was advised me, so if you're going to come off anything, come off the statins, because she's getting terrible pain up her arms, which is one of the side effects among many. And at this point, she went back to her GP and I said, oh, it's funny, you've got borderline diabetes, and that is also one of the side effects of statins.
It creates more business.
So she came off the statins, partly because the GP said, well, give it a go, come off them. And then she went back to GP 3 weeks later and they said, oh, that's funny, you're not diabetic anymore. No connection with the side effects at all.
It goes all the way to Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
So, what with this? Do you have to then keep taking it?
Well, that's a good question.
I say yes.
Yeah, if you're taking it as a tonic, yes. Yeah, but the people we've had, and this one case is now a year and a half, maybe 2 years, and that he came off it and it started going back on, so he went back on. So who knows? It's an anti-aging tonic. Well,
But I'd say if you have a plant-based diet that's plants that are higher in silica, or vegetable and plant cellulose, you probably need less than if you were eating meat.
right. It's like an opportunity. If we can get their blood pressure down and their cholesterol down and get them off their drugs, and this is where Hahnemann's talking again, we must know what preserves health and what's deranged, and then we have the opportunity to educate them about diet, exercise, and all that to prevent that stuff from coming back. If they're not willing to do all that, then they might have to keep on it. Okay. Yes. My sister has a pacemaker, and I have not allowed her to take it. I don't know of any cases.
Why?
We don't know. I'm not going to risk someone's life to experiment and see. But the silica stuff might build up around the machine or cause the pace, but we don't know. So I just don't deal with it. When we give silica cell phone, we give other remedies. These are hawthorn berries and others. Okay? So when you don't know something, I'm in it. When you don't trust something, I'm in it. Instead covering up. Yes?
If it doesn't dissolve in water, does it get stored in the water?
No, it's not. It doesn't build up in water. I don't know what else I have coming up.
So
I
you
think it's
can't
shorter
get to a
version.
certain level and then you-
Right, so that's a good point. So when you take it, the majority of it, almost 70–80% of it, stays in the colon and scrubs the colon clean. That's a real benefit. If you get that, if you have a clean colon, your health is going to just blossom. Okay? And this is one of the biggest scrubbers and cleaners of your colon. Now, a small percent of it, 10–20% of it, gets in the blood and cleans it out and goes right through the kidneys. I've seen no reports of it building up or all of that. So,
And we might be able to get to a certain level.
we've seen none. We've had people on it for years. We've had no problem. Okay. And it's not just us. These farmers and these people, decades they've been out. That one guy, Wolf Creek, he's out there in a video, and he's out there taking it right there, and all his friends taking it, hundreds of people that they sell it to, and all of them blood pressure down, and they're overweight, and still on their bad diet, blood pressure and cholesterol low. I don't say that a lot to the clients, because we want to give them all that, but they don't change anything. Farms, big meat eaters, junk food, they do their DE, those areas are healthy. Perfect bowel, keep things moving. Okay?
Do you think all the people should be something in their daily routine just to last?
That's the definition of a tonic.
Yeah.
Right. And even sports and athletes and stuff. Yeah. Right. Okay, one more here. This is our second order. Someone ordered a big bag, now they're ordering again. Again, hip pain, arthritis. So blood pressure, cholesterol, arthritis, and all kinds of colon problems. First thing my husband and I noticed was not being tired all the time. They have more energy, so it's definitely an energy tonic. It increases your stamina. No crashing in the mid-afternoon. Okay, more projects, activities, all since starting DE. We have shared this product with some of our friends. One of our friends, a painter, he had arthritic pain in his pinky finger. He could not bend to touch his palm without excruciating pain. What's the remedy? There's a little homeopathic remedy where arthritis sets in the finger. Ibis nigra, I forgot what it is. It'll come to me. Starts with a A.
It's nicer.
Yeah. Close. Okay, one of our friends had it in excruciating pain, taking DE for 1.5 weeks. He can now bend it much with less pain. Another friend was balding on top of his head, went to his barber. The barber was giving him his usual flat top haircuts, asked him what he was doing because his hair was growing. Needless to say, our friend was excited about this product, which is why I'm about to order 50 pounds. One more thing, these horrible fire ants and carpenter ants, bees or stinging things around your house. Bed bugs is definitely something you want to deal with. Lice, Lyme, bacteria, all this stuff. We'll talk about that next.
What would you sprinkle it
I
on the
sprinkled
bed?
around the foundation
And then leave it
here.
in.
I sprinkled around the foundation at home and have not seen an ant anywhere. And I had this, we had an ant invaded our kitchen. I just put it on the windowsill, we put it outside on the door, they all disappeared. And it's so affordable. Yes, people, who do we know order 50 pounds for this? Okay, that's what we do. And that's pretty much it. No video. Oh. Questions about that? Take a break? Or do another question? Yeah, I mean, that was a number of obvious things. I mean, there's cases with the biggest tapeworms coming out, hookworm, all of that. This is how it's discovered. No. And especially when you have pets and animals and you don't know what they are, or what's going on with them, you don't understand, and you get them start getting diggy and you see this stuff come out. And it's usually behavioral things, you know all the signs, right? You heard my worm sign, parasite sign lecture. And this applies to children or animals. Okay? There's like 5 or 6 symptoms that give that. You take a break or give another? Okay. And one sign is, people know this, right? Children that pick their nose. A sign of a colon reflex from worms. You have to have more of that. Biting the nails. Another sign of parasite. Okay? A big one. Itching anus. Bad breath. Really bad breath. Okay? And increased appetite with no weight gain. Okay, what else? Any part of the body that's really irritating. Some, I think kids nibble on their knuckles or their thumb, or they scab one area that never really heals. And these are called the parasite reflex points. Okay? And some people are trying to figure out where they're doing it and what part of the colon they are. Because the whole body is in the colon mapped out. So, and all that. Some people fix their lips, but it's some irritating thing that this trial, and I've seen it pulling the hair. I've seen horrible cases. And one kid was about to be put in an institution. He craved sugar and sweet so much they had to tie the kid up. True story. And he had red hair and these really intense eyes. And he was hyperactive and violent and everything. I'm taking the case and taking the case. And he had all these, you only need 1 or 2 of these worms. He had like 3 or 4 voracious appetite. And they started tying him up at night because he would wake up in the middle of the night, in the winter, in the mountains, and start walking. They catch him in the street walking in his underwear and a t-shirt, 6, 7 years old, going to get some candy. He was like an animal. He didn't feed him candy. He didn't see nothing else. We didn't get to follow the whole case. I was just busy there. Unbelievable. Okay. So don't think all your kids have worms, but if you travel or they play in the dirt a lot, or if they have any symptoms, consider it a cleanse or get some DE. One more question? 2 more?
Take it before food or after food or something like that?
You can take it with food before or after. So the best way we do is just in some water or juice and drink it straight down.
And if you mix the charcoal, this sounds like a stupid question.
No, it's not.
If you mix the charcoal and the silica together, will the charcoal just grab all the silica and then just...
I don't know how to answer that.
Can you take the 2 together, charcoal and...
I do it to brush teeth. I haven't really, I don't know how to answer that. You can, but I don't know if you need to decide what the patient needs. Just a general detox. If you have pain and arthritis and all this cholesterol, then you're more, it's right there, you're in DE now. So you want to just detoxify someone that you're more in charcoal. Yes?
Wouldn't you say though that charcoal is more anti-inflammatory and more of a relaxer and better to take at night, where the DE is more of an energizer, and I would recommend it at different times of
It's
day?
almost a yin yang.
Yeah, it really is.
DE does a lot more than just clean.
It's an energizer.
Yeah. Charcoal is basically your clean.
So is it about when you take your DE and then drink hot cup of tea? You want to do it away from your hot drink?
Absolutely.
Yes. No one's ever asked me that question, but it sounds reasonable. Don't drink hot, take your DE and drink something hot. Huh? Yes. Can you take your DE and have a cup of coffee or hot tea afterwards? I say no.
Why is that? How is that?
Because the DE is heated, it changes chemically from a plant silicone to a silicone. Okay? So let's take a break.